My dear respected football fans, KlarseSport podcast, myself, Klarse, and I'm joined by a good friend, Chevy. And today's podcast, we're going to be discussing the Premier League's top 10 all-time goal scorers. Chev, your view?
Yeah, Mr. Clarse, thanks for having me back. This one stemmed from the BBC and then the BBC podcast that Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer, and Ian Wright did, where they debated their kind of Premier League top goal scorers. And in fairness to the three of them, they said the list was put that they were given was put to them by different pundits that voted. So we can't knock them too much. But I'll give you their list. Starting off with Shearer, I'll go 1 to 10. So we've got Shearer at 1, Aguero 2, Henry 3, Rooney 4, Van Nistelrooy 5, Drogba 6, Ronaldo 7, Suarez 8, Kane 9, Andy Cole 10. So that was Shearer's list. And then Wrighty's list, it was Shearer 1, Henry 2, Aguero 3, Rooney 4, Van Nistelrooy 5, Suarez 6, Ronaldo 7, Kane 8, Drogba 9, and Andy Cole 10. So that was their two respected lists of the players that were given. So there's a lot of high quality players on that list. You know, they've all scored all types of goals amongst them. So it's a fantastic list. But Klaus, what's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so first off, just want to get this out of the way. Is this based on quantity, quality, or what? What is it based on?
From what I can remember, they based it on in no particular order.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the amount of goals, the goal ratio, the goals per game, quality came into it as well, and then I think trophies was another thing. You know what they respectively might have won with their clubs at the time. But those are the kind of four main things that they were debating, and it was purely on the Premier League. They had a good discussion on saying, well, you know, if it's all-time goal scorer, then we've got to say Cristiano. But you know, we've got to take it on the Premier League and what he did there, which is fair enough. So yeah, it's all purely based. They all had different lengths of careers in the Premier League, so I think it's a fair way to do it. But what other thoughts have you got?
All right, well, we're basing it just on Premier League only. So for me, instantly, Suarez and Kane cannot be on a top 10 list of top 10 greatest Premier League goal scorers.
Yeah, like I said, to be fair to them, that's the list they were given. I don't know if it was the criteria that the pundits who voted for this or the writers that voted for this had. If it was just a striker thing, I don't know. But you know, they worked with their list, so we can't knock them too much for them going with their list. You know, that'd be a bit harsh.
So for me, I'm gonna put my list out there.
Yeah,
and then we see how we get on.
Let's do your list, but let's go from bottom up. So let's go from 10 to 1. You know, or do you want to do like how they did it? They did their 10 to 6, and then the next person went, and then they went back after for their. Or just want to do your whole in a row?
I'll do my whole in a row. I'm happy to do
you're
that.
Mr. Kloss. It's your thing, my big man.
All right. Well, all right. Well, I'm happy to go. So at number 1 for me.
No, go that way.
Oh, so you want to go from 10 to 1?
Go 10 to 1. Right. 10 to 1.
So 10 at the 10th spot for me, 10th place will be Ian Wright.
Okay.
And obviously, you know, Ian Wright, he done his thing when he was
at
Arsenal.
Right.
Come on. How could you forget? You know what I mean? Wright, he scored double figures near enough every season. He played in a not so good Arsenal team for a long time before you got all the Bergkamps and all those guys. But he held his own. He got quite a lot of goals. He done his thing. So he turned up in big games as well. So Wrighty would definitely get the number 10 spot for me. Number 9 for me, gonna have to be Cristiano.
Fair enough.
Yeah, done his thing. Scored some amazing goals. He didn't stay in the Premier League long enough, and he only really had 3 top quality good seasons out of his sort of Premier League career. So that's why he's going in at 9. That's the only reason. And he turned up in big games as well. At 8th place, I'm gonna go Didier Drogba. Turned up in big games, scored goals. Didn't really get a lot of goals per season, like amazing double figures, but he still turned up, and we all know Drogba's a big game player.
Yeah,
If you want
of
someone to turn
course.
up in a big game, you know Didier is the
Yeah.
man. Do you know what I mean? So and he scored some good goals too. So
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. And then I'll go with seventh place will be Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Hmm.
Yeah, as we know, Van Nistelrooy was a fox in the box.
Yeah, beast.
Yeah, beast. He'd score for fun. Do you know what I mean? Anywhere,
Anywhere in the
anywhere.
box,
You know what I mean?
it's likely to go in.
He, his goal says it all. He's been top goal scorer in 3 different leagues. So that says it all. Enough said. And then in sixth place, I'm gonna have to go Wayne Rooney.
Was all right.
Yeah, Wazza. Wazza's he's definitely up there. He does his thing. He scored a lot of goals. He's you know quality goals. You can't never knock Wayne
Hmm.
Rooney for the quality. So he's gonna go in at six for me. That's gonna be my 10 to 6.
Make it. So you do the rest, or do you want me to do my 10 to 6?
Yeah, you do your 10 to
Okay.
6.
All right. I'll do mine. So just so everyone's clear, you might say I took the easy route out. So I just analysed the top 10 that the BBC analysed, and what
Yeah.
Gary Lineker and Ian Wright and Shearer did. So for me, my 10 is 10 to 6. Harry Kane at number 10. I feel he could go further up the list in time, but I don't think he's been in the Premier long enough to warrant being higher than that, from my personal opinion. Number 9 is Suarez.
Yeah.
Great goal scorer. Scored some fantastic goals. Number 8, Drogba. As you said, big game player. I don't think he scored loads of goals every season. I may be wrong. I think he scored a lot of goals, but I don't, compared to some of the others on
Yeah,
the
of
list.
course.
He weren't hitting the high 20s to 30s like some of the other guys on the list. But in a big game, if you needed anyone to
Yeah,
turn
of
up,
course.
in any competition, we're talking about Premier League now, but Champions League, FA Cups, anything, you name it, big game, Drogba's there.
Yeah, of course.
7, I've got Cristiano. Um, he was in the Prem quite a while, but I think his golden seasons weren't that many. But the goals he scored in those seasons,
Yeah, of course.
were amazing. The amount of goals as well, and the quality of goals. And number 6 for me is Van Nistelrooy. So Van Nistelrooy gets my top. He gets my 6th place. Fantastic goal scorer. Used to love watching him as a kid. Used to love his pens. And he was just a menace, man. Like in front of goal.
Yeah, of
if he needed
course.
anyone to score, I know he flopped against Arsenal that time with that pen, of course, all that madness. But generally, anywhere in the box, Van Nistelrooy he's banging. So, that's my 10 to 6. So Kane 10, Suarez 9, Drogba 8, Ronaldo 7, and Nistelrooy 6.
Yeah, can work with that. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to my 5 to 1.
Yep.
And
Yep.
at 5th place for me, it's gonna have to be Frank. 100%. Frank has to be in the top 5. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Frank as a midfielder.
So you've gone against the grain. You've just done your thing. You're not
Yeah,
worried
of
about
course.
the BBC list.
Nah,
You're
the
just doing your thing.
BBC they can stick it. The BBC can stick it. That is completely wrong. Frank Lampard walked into anybody's top 5, and I'm saying that loud and clear. If you don't have Frank Lampard in your top 5 Premier League all-time scorers, then you don't know nothing about football, and football isn't for you. And that's just facts. That isn't my opinion. That's facts. Because the fact that he's the 5th all-time Premier League top goal scorer with all the goals he scored, who would you be to take him out of it because of your opinion? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I mean, I think I don't know the criteria. For me, it must have been on strikers. It must have been on strikers.
It must have been
because if you're talking about Premier League goals, then Frank has to be there.
Oh, come on.
You know what I mean? But so I don't know the reason why Frank was omitted, but I'm just saying it has.
All right.
But we'll leave it. So you've got Frank at
Yeah,
you've got
Frank
at-
definitely,
at
man.
5.
Frank, he always turned up alongside Drogba. He always turned up double figures every season, made it look easy. Frank's your man. You always knew if Chelsea scored, 1,000,000%, Frank was on that score sheet. Simple as that. 4th, Yeah, it's gonna have to be Alan Shearer. I know you don't look happy with this one. And you know, the reason being, because I've got to go into it. The reason being is because the quantity of goals, 100%. That's why he's got the most goals in the Premier League. But we got to look into things properly. And the quality, you scored screamers and you scored your headers and your penalties.
The
Yes,
volleys.
the volleys as well. But dribbling a man, dribbling three players, chipping it over the keeper's head,
No, yeah,
going
I think
around
he had the
keepers.
chips. He had the chips. He had the chips.
You sure you had the chips?
I don't know about getting around the keeper, but he definitely had the chips.
Do you know what I mean? So that's why he's going to be full place for me, because you know, like the quantity, hell yes, but
Yeah.
like, you know, turning up in big games and going against your rivals and you coming out the best striker out of the two when you're up against, you know what I mean? So that's why he's just come down a bit. So that's why he's full.
Cool.
Third, I'm going with Aguero.
All right.
Aguero,
Yeah.
Aguero's the man. Do you know what I mean? He scores them. You know,
Yeah.
like when you're playing Man City and you know whatever support you are and you know your team has to play Man City. I know you're trembling in your boots when Aguero's fit. Aguero, come on, man.
Yeah.
He scores goals for fun. He is a goal machine. And yeah, he turns up in big games, does his thing. But yeah, he's in that third place. Second, King Henry, obviously.
All right.
Henry,
Yeah.
do we have to really sit down and talk about Henry?
The legend.
Yeah, Henry.
Legend.
Come on,
Name
look at
says it
look
all.
at the goal he scored against Man United.
Yeah.
Come on, can anyone forget that? He made.
What's that?
Come on, he made
It's not
Barthez.
just- It's all the goals he scored.
Mate, he
man.
made Barthez look like a Sunday league keeper.
Yeah.
He annihilated Tottenham for fun, and that was, you know,
When he ran
a
past from
derby.
his own half and ran all the way through, man.
Exactly.
Did against Liverpool as well.
He did it against Liverpool. He done it for fun. Henry, the only reason why he ain't top for me is because he other people have had longer years, so they've had more time to score more goals and stuff like that. But he is Arsenal. If you mention Arsenal, you mention Henry. He's the king of Arsenal. So that's why he's going number two.
Superstar.
Number one.
Number one. Whoa, let's see this.
The magical number.
Because you know, if we review your five, the fifth was Lampard,
Yeah,
fourth was Shearer,
yeah,
third was Aguero,
yeah.
and the second's Henry. So I'm interested to see who's the big name at the top, because you know that anyone from 2 to 5 could have done it, but we'll see what you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put it out there first before I even drop the name. The reason why I'm gonna put this person as number one, they don't get as the credit they deserve, and I think it's very disrespectful that they don't get the credit they deserve. And I feel that when I see like the pundits, ex-players, whatever you want to call them, like your Ian Wrights, your Shearers, your Lineker, I sometimes think this is jealousy now, because this person that I'm gonna pick, before I even say the name, and the reason why it's jealousy is because they were strikers and this guy's a striker, and this guy done everything they done but better. So how can they not rate this guy? He obviously this is just Premier League, but went to the Champions League. He ripped the Champions League. Come on, look at the goal he scored against Juventus. All the goals he scored in the Champions League. Chips, running past players, going around the keeper, everything. Overhead kicks. Come on, in Champions League, overhead kick. Never got his chance really for England. Come on, Andy Cole, man. That's the name that's going there, mate. Come on, bro.
Andrew Cole.
Come on, and he has to be, because even so,
Cole.
he is third top goal scorer of all time in the Premier League, and not only does he have quantity, he has the quality, and he's done it everywhere. FA Cup, League Cup, the Premier League, Champions League, you name it, man. For me, it's a no-brainer. It's just that where the pundits don't big him up, people don't know how good he really is.
Yeah.
So for me, that is number one. Yeah, he's a legend. Come on, that's got to be number one.
So Andrew Cole is number one. All right. So let's hit the whole 10 then. Might as well just run through your list
From 1 to 10, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just want me to do mine and then we do each other's after.
Yeah, I'll go through mine first.
Yeah, just go through.
All right. So number one, I got Andy Cole. Number two, I got Thierry Henry. Number three, I got Aguero. Number four, I got Shearer. Number five, I've got Lampard. Number six, I got Rooney. Number seven, I got Drogba. Number eight, I've got Ronaldo. Number nine, I've got Righty. And number 10, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Ruud wasn't your 10 before, but
Yeah, I'm switching it up now.
It's playing
Yeah, I'm
games with
switching
it.
it up there.
Alright, cool. Let me do.
No, I had Rude, but I had Rude.
No, you had him higher up.
Yeah, I had him higher up,
But now
but
you moved him to 10.
yeah, I think I should put Righty
Fair
above
enough,
him for the
fair
fact that Righty played in not such a good team.
Alright.
And let me just put one more thing out there,
Go
just
on.
before we move on. The reason why Cole's going up there, you got to think of the quality of players and strikers that he had to come up against, and he still held his own. So this is the reason, and the reason why I'm putting this out there, because when you listen to pundits on TV, they never give Andy Cole the ratings he deserves,
No, of
and
course,
I don't
of
like
course,
that.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
know,
So yeah, you go
maybe
ahead.
there's no tier about him. I don't know. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, of course, he never got the credit he got. He should have got far more England caps than he did. A true legend, goal scoring legend for sure. All right, so my 5-1 is at 5. I've got Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
From the first time he came on the scene, that was at 16, and the commentator, I can't remember who it was, but remember the name, it's Wayne Rooney. That goal he scored against.
Who can forget that?
That goal he scored against Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's never looked back since.
Yeah.
The pressure he's had to continue to do it through his career. All-time England goal scorer. He's definitely up there for me at 5. My 4.
Yep.
You had him at 1. I got him at 4.
Oh, mate.
Andrew Cole.
Yeah.
You spoke a lot about him, so I'm not going to go into too much depth, but into too much detail on it. But I agree. A player highly, I don't know if underrated is a word. I think disrespected is probably more accustomed to it. The goals, the amount of goals he scored, and the quality of goals he scored, and just an all-round good player. And I think the media before used to get a stigma on how many chances does he need and all that other rubbish that maybe people just didn't warm to him. But you can't argue the amount of goals he scored, and that partnership he had with York was phenomenal. So he's number 4. And number 3 for me is Aguero. I'm a big fan of Aguero. Not a big fan of a massive fan of Man City, but I'm a massive Aguero fan. The quality. Every time I've seen him play live, his movement, the areas he gets into, just the little things he does to get into the areas. The way he can create space, the finishing. I think he needs to work on his pens. He's missed a few pens the last couple of seasons, but I think arguably he's overtaken Henry now as the all-time overseas goal scorer in the Premier League. So Aguero's my 3rd. Second is Thierry. Like you said, there's no the legend, the global superstar. What he came over and did was phenomenal. It took him so long to get his first goal for Arsenal, but then once he did, he scored every type of goal and the assists as well. Like he weren't just a goal scorer, the assists.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, for me, number 1, you can't look can't look anywhere but Alan Shearer, bro. You can't look anywhere but Alan Shearer. You try to get him at the quality of goals. Come on, this guy scored from 30, 40 yards. Balls on the floor, in the air, volleys, headers, free kicks, penalties. Like 260 times seen either one hand or two hand goals up. And who knows what would happen if he did leave and went to a bigger club. Not,
Yeah, of course.
Newcastle's a Geordies don't get at me because I know you're passionate in that. But let's face facts. The Geordies have a massive fan base, massive following, but I don't think we can no longer call them a big club anymore. You can't get relegated, come back up, and think you're still with the big boys. I make Ashley, what a guy he is. Mike Ashley, your owner, still making people work upon the coronavirus and that. So but no, for me, Shearer's number 1, has to be number 1. 260 goals on all type of goals. So that's my 5-1. I'll just reel off my top 10. Shearer 1, Henry 2, Aguero 3, Cole 4, Rooney 5, Van Nistelrooy 6, Ronaldo 7, Drogba 8, Suarez 9, and Harry Kane 10. So my list was as per the BBC's. Mr. Klaus, he added to the list and did his own thing as usual. Nothing wrong with that. So I think that's a good some phenomenal players, and I think there's other players we haven't even discussed. You know, Robbie Fowler for one could have been on there.
Come on.
Michael Owen.
Oh man.
You know, those are two players straight away that could have gone on there.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm sure there's many others that we've kind of RVP.
Oh yeah, know? RVP. Come on.
You know what I mean? Van Persie scored some great goals.
Oh mate.
Single-handedly won United that 20th title, and he got the Guard of Honor back at the Emirates.
Exactly.
Imagine that. So I think we've left off some other big names, but you know, I did it as per the BBC's list, and I think that's a good roundup of the players.
So in terms of like if you had like everyone on your list, my list combined, even the players we left out, if you could choose 2 strikers for your starting 11 team in their prime, who would you choose out of all these strikers?
Out of everyone there?
Yeah.
Everyone there.
Even the people you named that we've left off the list. Yeah. Who would you choose? I've got my 2.
My 2 is the top 2 I've got. I'm going with Shearer and Henry. Those are the 2 I'd pick.
In their prime?
Yeah, in the Premier League, in their prime in the Premier League. I've everyone on their list, on my list. I've everyone in the Premier League in their prime. I'll pick Shearer and Henry.
You being serious?
Yeah.
So you're saying
out of my list, every player in their prime in the Premier League, Shearer and Henry. I'm going with my top 2.
All right. So every striker that we've spoken about, and we're going off their prime. So let's just say you're allowed to take 2 seasons of their 2 best seasons. You're taking Shearer's 2 best seasons over Ronaldo's 2 best seasons.
If I'm picking my top 2 players,
gracious me.
My top 2 players on the list are Shearer and Henry. I'm sticking with that. I'm going with that.
Well, for me, if we're going off just prime, like say like, you know, they're 2 seasons. You just needed a striker for 2 seasons and can be their prime. It's got to be Ronaldo. I'm going Ronaldo, Henry, or I'm going Cohen, Henry. Simple. So can we agree to disagree?
Always.